They spent over $300,000 trying to shut down my garage, because I used it as a home office. Not a meth lab. Not a gun range. Just a laptop, a chair, and a printer. And they still lost. Hi. My name's Chris. I used to be a tech writer. Now, I write zoning laws. Not because I wanted to, but because my HOA forced my hand. It started small, like they always do. I moved to Bell Hollow, a beige and brick neighborhood just outside Phoenix. It looked like a suburban dream, mountain views, no barking dogs, and allegedly, high-speed fiber. I was working remote for a major tech publication, spending most of my days in the garage-turned-office, tapping away on AI ethics and cybercrime. One afternoon, I got a notice duct-taped to my door like some ransom note. The HOA claimed I was operating a business on residential property. A violation of our CC and RS. But I wasn't running a business. I had a W-2 job, a desk, and no clients coming over. Still, they fined me $250. Then another $250. Then a threat to lien my property. That's when I knew this wasn't about a rule. It was about control. I showed up at the next HOA meeting. I didn't speak, just watched. They all looked like mall cops with clipboards. But one guy stood out. Gordon. Mid-60s, ex-military demeanor, aviators indoors. He never said a word during the meeting. But everyone kept looking at him before they voted. That night, my neighbor Sarah pulled me aside by the mailbox. "They're gunning for you," she whispered. "Because of what you wrote." I blinked. "Wrote?" She nodded. "The HOA president thinks your AI article was about him." I'd written a piece about suburban surveillance and how small-time officials misuse power. I never mentioned Bell Hollow. But clearly, it hit a nerve. 3 days later, I was suddenly getting noise complaints. From neighbors I'd never met. My lawn was photographed, my trash bins inspected. Someone even filed a complaint about a foreign odor coming from my garage. Spoiler, it was a scented candle. Vanilla bourbon. Knowledge nugget number 1, HOAs can impose fines, but they must provide written notice, a clear opportunity to cure, and follow due process, or their enforcement is legally void. So I requested mediation. Their lawyer declined. Instead, they held a special executive session, closed door, and voted to double my fines. I only found out because someone slipped the agenda under my windshield at 2 a.m., with one word sharpened at the bottom, run. But I didn't run. I started digging. Bell Hollow's zoning manual was a relic. Last updated in 1997, scanned on a fax machine, and written in Comic Sans. It didn't even define home office. It had 14 pages, 2 of which were just clip art of suburban houses. I went to the city's planning department. The clerk, shout out to Megan, gave me a USB of archived amendments. That's when I saw it. A line item from 2011, section 6.2.1, home-based employment permitted if no signage, noise, or foot traffic is present. Exactly my case. I printed it. Sent it certified to the HOA. They ignored it. So I sent it to every homeowner in the neighborhood. Black and white copies. Stapled to a handwritten letter. That's when they retaliated. My mailbox was smashed. My tire valve caps disappeared. And someone signed me up for a Scientology newsletter. But then, I found the puppet master. Gordon. Mr. Sunglasses Indoors. Turns out, he wasn't just some grumpy retiree. He was the original developer of Bell Hollow. He wrote the first CC and RS back in 2002. And he was quietly funneling HOA money to his property management company, under fake consulting fees. I filed a public records request. Got the HOA's tax returns. And there it was, $58,000 in strategic oversight to a company called GH Planning Group. GH. Gordon H. I checked the LLC registration. His name. His address. His downfall. Knowledge nugget number 2, HOAs must disclose all financial relationships and conflicts of interest. Undisclosed self-dealing is grounds for civil liability and removal from office. I brought it to the city council. They shrugged. So I went bigger. EPA. Turns out, Bell Hollow was built over an old runoff channel. The same one Gordon paved over to make the cul-de-sac look cleaner. There were minor breaches in water codes, harmless for now, but enough to spook the city into a full review. Then the IRS. That consulting fee? Not reported on Gordon's personal returns. I know this because his ex-wife messaged me. Turns out she'd been waiting 10 years to drop the hammer. By now, the HOA meetings had become silent standoffs. People stopped making eye contact. One board member resigned mid-meeting. Another moved. I was sued again, for defamation. But that suit backfired. Because now discovery was fair game. Emails. Board chats. Meeting minutes. One line stood out. Make his life hell until he sells. So I filed my own suit. Wrongful enforcement. Retaliation. Breach of fiduciary duty. And I wasn't alone anymore. 5 other homeowners joined me. One was a teacher who got fined for hanging a wind chime. Another, a veteran, fined for a flagpole. Sarah joined too, after they tried to fine her 4 aggressive garden gnomes. Screenshot this clause and tag a friend who needs HOA armor. Section 6.2.1. Home-based employment shall be permitted so long as it does not involve signage, increased traffic, or external disturbances. We got a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, a zoning litigator named Rachel Lynn who treated building codes like holy scripture. She found a dozen misapplied sections in the HOA's manual. Found that our CC and RS were out of sync with state statute. Found that Gordon had skipped his own annual conflict of interest disclosures. We filed a motion to freeze HOA spending until the case resolved. Approved. Then we motioned for a forensic audit. Approved. Gordon tried to bluff. Tried to threaten. Then he tried to run. Literally. The day before the audit, he vanished. His house listed. His car gone. But too late. The city ordered a full zoning rewrite. And guess who they asked to help draft it? Me. I spent months buried in PDFs and red lines, making sure future homeowners couldn't be blindsided the way we were. Knowledge nugget number 3, city zoning trumps HOA rules when it comes to land use, so always check your municipal code first. Gordon's consulting firm was dissolved. The HOA board was replaced. Our neighborhood voted to rewrite the CC and RS from scratch, with clear rules, transparency, and term limits. And my garage? Still my office. Now with soundproofing, a new espresso machine, and an Arizona Press Award hanging on the wall. Sarah started a community garden. The wind chime teacher. She joined the new board. And me? I keep a hard copy of that 2011 amendment in my glove box. Just in case. We even started a neighborhood newsletter, called the Vanilla Bourbon. Because yeah, that candle's still lit. But here's the twist. Last week, I got a letter. No return address. Just a key inside, and a note, for the storage unit on East Marigold. I haven't gone yet. But I will. Next week. Because what's inside that unit might explain why Gordon really paved that creek. And why someone wants me to see it. So if you think your HOA's bad, wait until you hear about the city that tried to steal a solar farm.